Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. Want to know how Pong ends up turning into Grand Theft Auto? Stay tuned. We're in the magical decade of the 80s where anything can happen, and we were last playing Hungry Horse on the ZX Spectrum. Let's see what's next. We're going to MS-DOS and playing Jabbertalky. Jabbertalky actually isn't new, the first time we played it here on the channel. Jabbertalky's been around since 1980 on the TRS-80 and Apple II, and the only one we're going to be playing on the show is here on MS-DOS. Oh, look at the IBM sticker on the top right. I can barely see it. It's like it's supposed to be shiny, but it's not shiny anymore. So Jabbertalky is, yes, the programmable word game. Hold on to your butts. It's going to be so exciting. 2 different word games. Create your own vocabulary and syntax for ages 7 through adult. I didn't consider this early childhood because it's technically not an educational title for, elementary school. It does say 7, but it does have more impressive puzzles for adults too. You can see complexity can be extremely difficult if you wanted to. Playtime, it says 30 minutes to hours of fun. I don't know who's going to spend hours of fun on it, but if you did, let me know in the comments down below. It's got several different modes. We have alpha grammar, we have the cryptogrammar, we have the free verse, and we're not going to be checking out all of those, but it's basically just word play or word puzzles. Let's dive in. Do we have anything else for Jabbertalky? There we go. The 5 1/4 floppy disk. We're going to pop in to our IBM PC. Whoa, this requires 64K. That is way up there with memory. The only other one I can think of, well, the very first one we played that needed 64K was Microsoft Decathlon. That's a lot of memory, especially if you're going to play something educational. All right, time to pop in and play Jabbertalky. This is by Automated Simulations, the beginning of September 1982. Do you want to use a special vocabulary? No, I do not. That's true. There are a lot of people, maybe people really enjoy Jabbertalky. Here on the show, I'm a true video gamer. I like everything. Action games, arcade, strategy, role-playing, like most of the normal genres. But then there is this other casual style of gamer that crops up every now and then. It's just not as popular as it is now. There's no mobile phones. So there you go. You can pick from all these different categories. Now, free verse it's not interactive at all. Free verse is the computer just going to display various things on the screen showing off the vocabulary. So there is no really game there. Alpha grammar is where the computer generates a sentence to show you empty spaces where letters should be. And so at the top of the screen, the alphabet's listed with the number and each letter appears in the sentence, and you find clues to fill them out. Cryptogrammar is where the computer presents you with a jumbled sentence where each letter has been substituted with another letter. So you can see it's word puzzles. That's what this is. And then Jabbergrammar allows you to customize Jabbertalky, creating new things. So this is also a game that you can program yourself and change up to make it to your liking. So I'm just going to go for, just to show you a little bit of something. Let's do alpha grammar. And how many players have we? We'll start with 3. Why not? Who's player number 1? Chrono is here. Player number 2, last person in chat was Ubicore. And then before Ubicore was GSE Stream. I think it all fits. Hey, there you go. IBM PC understand caps and lowercase, and they have a longer strings they'll understand. The current difficulty is 8. Do you want to change it? No, we'll keep it the same. What a riveting game of Jabbertalky this might be. So here we go. This is the game. It's Chrono's turn. Press the spacebar to start the clock. And ready, go. So at the top of the screen, it's showing us what is possible as far as numbers and letters in this sentence. And I'm supposed to be guessing the sentence. So I'm going to say A, maybe? No, not A. Okay, what about O? So I'm looking at the top cursor, trying to find if it's, is it an, of, is it B? No, it's not B. Oh, wait, there's no B here. D, is it D for do? No. Is it G? Go. No, it's not go. Is it... it's not O, T... Oh, there we go, 2. So 2, and you see you're guessing each letter, and then now, okay, my time's up, and now Ubicore steps up, spacebar to start the clock, and then now they're trying to complete the sentence, and you get points for how many letters you can guess, and then you work your way through the sentence. This is one of the examples of one of the games that Jabbertalky has. So I'm going to stop it there because this is a game that is not really the genre or the type of game we usually play here on the show. as a puzzle game and a word game, it's also slightly educational. It doesn't really hit all the marks as far as like a quality video game. When you think of a fun video game you want to play on the IBM PC, I wouldn't say Jabbertalky would be it. It's been around since 1980, so here it is on MS-DOS. But for something like this nature, I'd have to say around the average range. It is impressive, though. You can tell it needs 64K because it has its own vocabulary of things. Hunter's going way low, and Charlie's going way low. Yeah, it's not your typical video game, but I got to give it props for something that is doing something different. But yeah, it isn't as enjoyable, like something fun as a party game. There's even other party games we played that play a little bit faster and have something a little bit more, yeah. 2 with older relatives. Yes, I'm with you mainly. I'll go with that. I'm going to go with 2 stars of all the games you could play right now on any home computer. 2 stars is generous. Yes, and it was kind of like Wheel of Fortune. All right, what's next? We're back in the United Kingdom on the Sinclair ZX Spectrum. This is Jackpot. Oh man, what a riveting night this turned out to be. Jackpot is a slot machine or fruit game. This one would mark it as our 8th video game involving slot machines, and that's not going to be the end of it. It's a full-color graphic simulation of modern fruit machine, and this is single-player only. 1 player only, not even 2-player or multiplayer alternating. It is for 1 person. Some sad sap got their ZX Spectrum and played Jackpot. I don't know who it was. And then there's other ones called Jackpot. I'm going to breeze by them. The one we're playing tonight is by CRL Group, but there's also another one in 1983, and then another one in 1984 for Software Sweden, but we're just going to pop in quickly, Jackpot. This is by Pete G. Curtis, published by CRL Group in the beginning of September 1982. I know, and now from one to the other, Spectrum Jackpot, wow. So it goes through walls and walls of text explaining what a slot machine is and how the game works and what you can win, but everyone knows you don't win anything. Video game slot machines, I'm talking actual video game slot machines, not going into a casino and then they have a video while you're playing a slot machine. All this is there's no money involved. It's just getting to play a slot machine. So hit any key for there we go. Any key to see the nudges, got it. Any key to start, got it. And then there it is. Wow. Of all the video game slot machines we played so far, most have been on console, but let's go. And go. Do we win anything? I know what we win. We win nothing. We go home with no money. Yeah, there we go. We won nothing whatsoever, and I'm done. There you go. That's all of Jackpot that we're going to play here on Chronologically Gaming. Most slot machine games we're going to breeze by just as well. I'd say of all the video games you'd be playing on a home computer, it's way down there, just because of the genre. Why would you want to play a 1-player Jackpot slot machine? It is kind of well done, but most of them you'd see on consoles nowadays. So I'm going to have to go 1 star. Anybody else with me on 1 star? What a riveting evening of video games. I hope no one's watching the show for the first time, and they're never going to touch anything retro ever again after Jabbertalky and Jackpot. Believe me, there's much better games out there you can play, especially on home computers. All very generous. 2 stars, 1.5, very good. Yeah, it does have graphics, I'll give it that, but as far as casino games, we usually breeze by those. Alright, let's see what's next. Alright, we're going to the arcade. This is Jolly Jogger. In the arcade. This one didn't have a whole lot of advertisement. You can see here, this is by Taito Corporation. This is Taito's 59th video game we've played on the channel. 59th. Here's the advertisement flyer. You control Jolly Jogger and evade being caught by the chasing bugs. Paint all the blocks before the dynamite explodes. When the bonus blocks are painted, Jolly Jogger will gain power, superpower, to crush the enemies. In the 3rd frame, when the player has cleared 60 blocks, he's entitled to try a perfect game. 3,000 points is awarded for completion. A Jolly Jogger lost each time the dynamite explodes or he's caught by the chasing bugs. This really looks like the back of the flyer. However, every place I go claims that this is the front of the flyer, but I think no one's actually found the legitimate front of the flyer. This one just needs a 4-way joystick for the arcade cabinet to move around. Yeah, so people have reconstructed front of advertisement flyers because I don't think the official one's been found. Yes, finally a real game with an example of the screenshot. Could this be the first jogging video game we've ever played? Or yogging, as they pronounce it now in 1982? All right, we're going to the arcade to play Jolly Jogger by Taito, the beginning of September 1982, which means we are in Japan. Arcades in Japan. This almost feels like disco vibes. But the graphics already first presentation remind me of like Disco number 1, which we've already played. I'm going to let the attract mode play just a little bit. Taito's given us, of those 59 games, including this one, all of them have been in the arcade here on the show. The only ones that weren't in the arcade was the Space Invaders that came to Atari VCS and Space Invaders that came to the Atari home computer. Everything we've seen by Taito has been in the arcade. Really impressive. Oh, very quaint. Okay, so yeah, I can see exactly what kind of game we're playing here. Yeah, they're a giant. They were the ones that made Space Invaders. They started this whole video game thing. All right, so let's put a coin in and let's go. It is 1 and 2 player, but it's alternate play. Very nice. I'm in the center of the screen. There I am, the Jolly Jogger. I don't look much like I'm jogging. Am I already down? Yeah. If you circle the fuchsia colored blocks, you get a power up to move around. This is very reminiscent of other grid capture video games we've already played here on the show. We've even played some at home too. So yeah, this one plays like you'd expect. I got another power up on the side. Can I just go individual? What happens if I do 4 at a time? Does anything happen? Oh, and we'll never know, because we died. I'm just trying to jog here while all the enemies show up. And it didn't tell us what the enemies are, so we get to use our imagination and say we're getting clubbed by a troll and some ghost guy. Is that a ghost with a club? This is like a perfect maze/grid capture style game. Got it. Eat them. Or whatever I'm doing. Yes, jog into them. So yeah, you have to do individual squares, which we played some other grid capture games that allow you to do larger sections. I mean, come on, one of the best ones out there is Qix. Qix. This one seems like a simpler time, but still fun, if you enjoy this kind of game. This is also taking place on one screen, and we played some grid capture games that take place on multiple screens. There you go, got my power up, and everyone runs away. Thank you, Pac-Man, for that. Yeah, it's really fun. So far here on the show, we played 12 different grid capture games that are similar to this, so we could break down and talk about every single grid capture game, because there's not as many. One of the very first ones we saw was on the Atari home computer called Tank Trap, which just had you capturing a tank as it moved around. All right, let's get a power-up over here. And then after that, we saw Qix in October of 1981, and then after that was the very popular Commodore. Took Japan by storm. Commodore was in 1981 as well. They're getting faster and faster. And then after Commodore was Disco number 1 that I just referenced from February 1982. He did it. He took the bait. All right, let's go straight down the side here. Nice. And then back at home, after Commodore was released, we got a game called Jeepers Creepers. We did it. Oh, yes. Jeepers Creepers was in May 1982, and that one was a, I would say, better game than Commodore that you could play at home. So we had a timer going around the outside of the screen, and I guess that's giving you the incentive to quickly capture all the grids. Also, is it giving you vibes that we're playing something that is like drawing a pixel character? Because every single grid could represent a pixel. Like we're playing a very early version of Picross. Yeah, the character in the back, yeah, it looks like I'm drawing a pixel-based character in the background. So anyway, after Jeepers Creepers, then we played Pepper 2 in May 1982, and after Pepper 2 was Radar Zone in June 1982. After Radar Zone was Tank Trap again on the VIC-20. And then after Tank Trap on the VIC-20 was Commodore at Home on the NEC PC 6001 in Japan. Let's see if we can get this power up before these guys, they're coming right at me. Yep, there we go. Nice. And after that was Macho Mouse in July 1982. After Macho Mouse, we had the Handheld of Commodore, and then Triple Punch was the recent one. That would allow you to scroll around the screen. So Taito's giving this a game that isn't as well known, and I can understand why. Jolly Jogger, first of all, who wants to play a jogging video game? But then we played other grid capture games that are more exciting than this. I guess this shows just how popular Commodore was in Japan. That's where we're playing it here first. But easy to pick up and play? Oh yeah, and we got power-ups now too. But we also had that in Triple Punch and several others. I couldn't agree more, Charlie. It does feel like a laundromat game. While we're getting our laundry done, we're going to play some Jolly Jogger. It's not one of those arcade games that stands out, considering all the other arcade games we played so far. Do we get to go back to the beginning? I think it starts this right, yeah, at the... So you do get different screens, or mazes, what have you. But you gotta admit, of all the games you could be playing right now in the arcade, this one is quaint, it's colorful, it's fun, but it doesn't do enough to really push you giving your quarter to this rather than everything else that's out there. Yeah, Hunter's going 3.5. I don't know who he's jogging with either. I was going to still say around the average range of all the arcade games you could be playing. I see Jolly Jogger as a 3.5 as well. Yep. Curtis is going 3 stars of all the arcade games you could play. And we are all over the world. So this is Japan we're playing Jolly Jogger. It's going to be a little bit later if this is released in other regions after that. Yeah, smooth. Gameplay works very well. And this feels also classic. It's the go pick up a power-up and then chase the enemies, very similar to Pac-Man. I wouldn't call it a Pac-Man variant, but it has that feel. And simple, easy controls that respond well. The 4-way joystick's perfect for it. It's great. Yeah, Victor's going 3.5 as well. Yeah, 3-ish. I still say around the average range. If I could, maybe say 3.25. But I'll concede. I after playing a little bit longer, the addiction's also there too. Very fun. And it is not 2-player versus. Jolly Jogger is an alternate playing game. It'd be cool if they implemented that. But if you play with 2 people, gotta take turns. Still kind of the norm here in the arcades. So there you go, 3.5 stars of all the games you could play in the arcade. Let's see what's next. We're back home on the Atari home computer. This is K-Star Patrol. K-Star Patrol, we've read about this one. Let's take a look at the box. Computer program, 1 or 2 players again, but alternate play. Defend the starships against alien attack forces and the dreaded intergalactic leech, or perish in the attempt. CBS Software, welcome back. CBS Software has other K-style games we've already played, like Krazy Shootout in 1981, which we gave 4 stars here on the show, and then Crazy Critters in April 1982, and that was 3.5 stars, and this is the next K-style game, and they have one more. There's one more we're going to see before the end of the year of CBS Software's K games, if you want to call it a series. Yes, example of the screenshot there. Oh yeah, and the Atari VCS joystick, very nice. Get your cartridge in, your Atari 400 or 800. This is a cool idea that we haven't seen yet. And we have further artwork at the time. This is the ad you would have seen in magazines. CBS Software, there they are. Krazy Shootout is their attempt at doing Berserk. Very, very well done. Crazy Critters is their attempt at Space Invaders-ish. It's a little bit like that. And then now we have K-Star Patrol, and there's the other one we're going to see later. Krazy Antics. This one's on cartridge, so we're going to pop it in right in the slot on our Atari to play. They even have the description of the game there. Very nice. How do we play this? K-Star Patrol. Great artwork for a computer box. That one is well done, like oil painted, but you can tell it's just generic sci-fi. It doesn't really tell you a lot about what the game's going to be. Looks really nice. So how do you get the game to go? You put the cartridge in. We'll make sure your system's turned off, of course. Select 2-player game. You'll be playing alternate play. The object of the game is to safely lead your patrol flight of 8 starships through 10 enemy space sectors as you travel over a hostile alien planet. Great screenshot there. It's another one of those, it's not really a screenshot. It's reconstructed. I feel like it's construction paper. I don't know exactly how they're doing it, but it's not real. So the alien attack ships rise vertically from the planet's surface and transform into deadly warhead rockets. Their mission is to destroy your lead starship and your star patrol. Your mission is to maneuver the lead starship and destroy the alien attack ships before they blast you or any of your star patrol. Your lead starship is equipped with laser weaponry, a protective hydrogen-activated force field barrier, plus 3 special high-amplitude photon neutralizer bombs, or happen bombs. They're just making all this up to make the sci-fi stuff sound cool. If your lead starship is eliminated, the top starship in the patrol will automatically take the lead starship's position. If that starship is destroyed, the next top starship will leave the patrol and take over. So this is a unique gameplay mechanic that we have not seen yet. It's almost like when we played the other one, Krazy Critters. It wasn't exactly like Space Invaders, but they did something just slightly to tweak it up. We also have a force field barrier. When we activate it, the protective barrier will defend your lead starship and patrol from attack. The barrier neutralizes and destroys the alien attack ships on contact. Use it sparingly as it's quickly drained of hydrogen power. Where do we see our hydrogen power, I want to know? Your lead starship will be a blue color as long as its force field barrier is operative. If the lead starship turns red, its force field is exhausted and must be recharged. Oh, look, and it shows you down at the bottom. It's very hard to see with the text, but that there's mountain peaks that we're going to be flying around to watch out for. The alien's low-level avoidance system, LLAS, becomes active as soon as you enter Sector 2. Be sure to destroy those. And then the dreaded intergalactic leech. As you proceed with your mission, an awesome intergalactic leech will invade the alien atmosphere and attack your lead starship. Your standard laser weapons will repel but not destroy the leech. If it avoids your fire and attaches itself to your lead starship, it will immediately absorb all your energy, laser power, and force field power. And you have to use your happen bomb. Wait, now, did they describe how to use the bomb? Because that's another cool thing about this. It doesn't say... Yeah, it's not... It's just explaining what it is. Okay, here it is. This is where it is. Long-range sector bar at the top gives you a view of all the sectors because this game is a Scramble variant. We're going to be going from left to right, scrolling automatically, and at the top of the screen, it shows you your sectors just like in the arcade. So here it is, the Happen Bomb. When you enter Sector 1, you're equipped with 3 of them. Then each sector you complete, you have an extra one added to your arsenal. To activate it, you... Wait, it doesn't tell you here. It just says when it's activated. It destroys everything on screen, so it's like a giant bomb that blows everything up. It's also capable of repelling but not destroying the intergalactic leech. Okay, here it is. This will show you where it is on the controller. You move the joystick up and down to move your ship, increase speed, and force field barrier is the opposite direction. You hold the red button in the upper left corner, move the controller to the right for the force field barrier, and to detonate the Happen Bomb, you use a 360 circular motion of the joystick. So you do the whole joystick in 360 degrees to make the whole screen blow up. Too cool. And then we have all the scoring. Make sure you memorize those points because it's 1982. Very nice. Yes, and actually, Ubicore, it's not as complicated as you... This is actually pretty simple considering the other games we've seen. All right, so we also have 2 different versions, one that's available in different OS. Let's pop in and play K-Star Patrol. This is by Keith Dreyer and Tori Meter of CBS Software at the beginning of September 1982. Or of K-Byte, published by CBS Software. Here we go. Already we're getting a nice hum in the background. And it makes me feel like we're going to use that pokey chip. Oh, this is really nice. So the game has you use the joystick. I haven't had to do any buttons on the home computer. If you do a 2-player game, it'll be alternate play. So we're going to do 1 player. We get a little ditty, very nice. Oh, no, we don't. I haven't pushed any button yet. So it's doing it in a track mode, like it's an arcade game. There we go. Now let's go. Now we're in. So on the left side of the screen, I am 1 ship in the center, and your job is to get to the other side of this, like Scramble, you're traveling sector by sector. And if I wanted to activate my force field, I can pull left to protect the other ships. Those other ships are also your lives. So in a way, it's like the arcade game we played where you're traveling with more of your ships, and when they blow up, they're that's essentially your lives taken care of. And then if you want to speed up, you go to the right with your joystick. So it's another Scramble variant at home, But, yes. Oh, they got me the last second. If you do that 360 with your joystick, then you get the Happen Bomb. Happen Bomb, HAPN. Bomb and blow everything up. Oh, there it is, the... No, and they're destroying us. If you look at the top of the screen, it's not a radar like you think for Defender. It's just similar to Scramble, showing you where your position is and how close you are to finishing each one. And we are dying fast, because it looks like even after they explode, there is a couple frames of animation where it's going to still kill you. So even though you've shot them and they're exploding, that explosion can also kill you. Oh, and it's also doing what I like to call excessive fire mode, where I have one shot, similar to Space Invaders, but whenever I decide to hit the button again, I can cancel that shot, and it just makes another one. So you can just essentially do this. Keep reshooting the screen out. What's happening? Oh, did we make it to the next sector? Yes. So when you finish a sector, it does like a kind of slow-mo, and then we go to sector 2. So it's a great game mechanic, but it doesn't make sense. If we really wanted to destroy the whatever, aliens we're going after, everyone should be firing right now. There should be nobody waiting behind. They're just hanging out there waiting to be blown up. Oh man, now those things at the bottom, I don't think I can take them out because of the position they're in. I guess if they don't shoot the other ship in behind, they'll be all right. But controls really, really well. It's a fresh idea if you're familiar with lots of Scramble-style games. Great shooter if you like this kind, scrolling to the right. Sound effects are great for a home computer. Atari usually delivers, and CBS Software had some excellent titles. I would still say the best one so far is the Krazy Shootout, the one that's a Berserk-style game. It's very, very well done. Well, as far as colors, though, this is pretty much par of the course for the Atari. If you want something brighter, more phosphorescent, then check out the TRS-80 Color Computer. Uh-oh, on the last one, can we make it through this sector? I'm just going to speed up. Hard to the right. Use the Happen Bomb. Oh, and it did it again. It's a slow-mo. Not a full-on, slow motion. It's more like you know you're going to enter the next sector. So here you are in Sector 3. And there you go. Very nice. Yeah, presentation of CBS Software games has been very well done. Even the Krazy Critters one is like Space Invaders. Look at this. Showing us the high score. Very nice. And I like how they make the atom bomb that you drop using the joystick. 360, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm into it now. This is pretty good. For a home computer game. And there it is. Didn't get to put in my initials like a true arcade game we've seen on home computers, but still really, really good time. And this is another title where I want to keep going. What's the next thing? There's a lot of sectors. Now, they didn't offer a lot of variety, though. So as you're going from sector to sector, it's not like we got a whole different space or theme. Most of the sectors look kind of the same, a little bit. They just tweaked a few of them and then made it difficult with different guns or enemies. So there you go, K-Star Patrol. Of all the games you can be playing right now on a home computer, I still say this is an above-average title. CBS Software does really well. I would give the nod if you were going to check out one of the other ones by CBS Software. It would be the Krazy Shootout, because we gave it 4 stars. But this is still an excellent game. Charlie's going 3.5. Yeah, Curtis is 3 to 3.5. Yeah, I'm with you there, too. Kun's 3.5, too. Great game. Lots of fun. It is still a score attack. Get that score going. But that's not all. It's also on the Commodore VIC-20. This is K-Star Patrol. Looks pretty much the same. CBS Software did, yeah, the exact same box, 1 or 2 players. Looks familiar. I don't know how well it's going to be on the VIC-20, though. So here we go, another cartridge to pop in and play. K-Star Patrol by K-Byte, published by CBS Software in the beginning of September 1982. So this one is one that I only found in PAL regions. If there is a North American cartridge, I couldn't find any copies or anything available online. So I'm saying this one was a European release, unless someone has an NTSC cartridge or knows about one that was released in NTSC. All right, so this is not me playing. They actually went into an attract mode like an arcade game, almost like we saw on the Atari. So let's get going. Oh, they have the joystick control. 1 or 2 players, nice. Oh yeah, so the same with the play mode, it's alternate play. And we're in. Look at that. And I have the same fire mode. Oh, it's a little slower. I am mashing my VIC-20 joystick really, really fast, but the fire doesn't shoot off as fast. And now can I do... Oh, yes, it works. Not quite as impressive, and the sound effects don't sound like they're there like the Atari. And I kind of figured that. What about the... Okay, force field's good, too, to protect my other ships. Now, while this seemed okay, and a really good game on the Atari home computer, here on the Commodore VIC-20, this is more impressive of what they were able to accomplish. And considering the other... Oh, I put my force field up too slow. The other Scramble variants we've played, the ones, especially the last one, the Scramble variants aren't as good. This one's done pretty well. Compared to the controls, though, this one feels a little bit more sloppy. Just a tweak more sloppy, like whenever I'm the movement on my ship, compared to the Atari. But probably because I just really enjoy playing on the Atari VCS joystick. This one doesn't feel quite as responsive. But still a solid game. For the VIC-20, this is great. Only because we're playing these back-to-back am I being nitpicky about it. But, man, yeah, this is still, I would say, in the same range. 3.5 stars of all the games you could play on a home computer. VIC-20 delivered. Well done. Yeah, I know. If you're considering VIC-20 only, Curtis, I'm with you. This would be great. You can tell they spent a lot of time on this port to get it over here. The first one was originally on the Atari home computer only, and the other K-series games by CBS Software, the Krazy Shootout and the Krazy Critters was only on the Atari. So this is the first time CBS ported the game to another home computer. There we go, entering the next sector. Oh, but they have the wrong, possibly an issue with the ROM there. But we are in the next sector. Look at the top of the screen. We made it. Very nice. Yeah, K-Star Patrol, another solid title of all the games you could be playing right here on a home computer. Any home computer. For the VIC-20, though, that's pretty good. I'll still say 3.5 stars of everything we've seen thus far. Charlie's even going higher. 4 stars for the VIC-20. Very nice. And if you that was your computer of choice, I understand. Yeah, just slightly. But we did see, it looked like it was meant to be programmed for the Atari first, and then ported here to the VIC-20. And that's probably why the controls don't feel as good. But it's so close. I'm going to have to just keep it the same. K-Star Patrol, you can't miss with that one. All right, we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Watch out! Hurry!
Who's that talking, Wizard of Odyssey?
A voice!
Who's that talking? It's the voice.
Warning me of the dreaded caterpillar in case he's crazy chase. Run! Hurry! I'm hurrying! Not you, Dreadpillar.
I'm hurrying for you, Dreadpillar. Now I understand what he says.
Incredible! The voice and new voice games. Only from Odyssey 2, where the keyboard is the key to greater challenge.
The keyboard is the key.
$82.
Very nice. That's right, it's time to play some on our Magnavox Odyssey 2. This one is the 39th Magnavox Odyssey 2 game we've played here on the channel. KC's Krazy Chase. Now the Magnavox Odyssey can talk to us. Here's the box for KC's Krazy Chase. This is the official sequel to KC Munchkin. Here on the show, we also played the Philips Video Pack, just Munchkin version of the game. And at this point, I think they're still being sued or going through legalities with Atari because they own the console rights to Pac-Man. But Casey's Crazy Chase, this isn't even close to Pac-Man. I mean, not even near close to Pac-Man. It's actually closer to Casey Munchkin. This is the second game to have the voice. If you see in the top right, voice enhanced, which is the voice module for the Odyssey 2. Artwork, though, is so good. This one is the mascot, pretty much, for the Odyssey 2. Yes. Oh, man. I love the eyebrows, too. Flip it over on the back. They got a few screenshots for us. 5 different mazes, different challenge levels. And we can, just like in Casey Munchkin, program our own mazes. It's very nice. High scorer's name appears on screen. This chase is really crazy because while Casey Munchkin is chasing one end of the dreaded Dratapilla, the other end is chasing him. So the dreaded Dratapilla's dreadful drats. I'm not going to read that one ever again. It has electronic sound effects enhanced by speech if you have the Voice of Odyssey 2 module. The Voice of Odyssey 2. That would be so cool if it was Feelies. I love it. If they had the eyebrows. Besides the box, here's the cartridge we're going to pop into play. Some Casey's Crazy Chase. It's got 4 different game modes that it displays on the front. And does it say... Oh, I thought it was going to display the developer here, but we'll get to Ed Averitt in a second. So there's the example of a screenshot to play some. Yeah, it's kind of like that. We'll see what the genre is like. Here's the manual for Casey's Crazy Chase. It's starring Casey Munchkin. In this episode, like they're going to make a whole series of Casey, but technically this is the only 2. There is one more I think comes out later in 2017, but this is it. For some reason, we saw 2 mascots recently. One was Hungry Horace, and now we got another cute mascot, which is Casey. He's been around a little bit longer, but for home consoles, this is pretty cool. The tree-eating Dratapillars of Venus, so they may give it a sci-fi theme. Be sure your console's powered off. Very nice. Insert the cartridge and you get the select game screen. And now you pick what game mode you want. Now you can play one or multiple people, but when you play with multiple people, you're going to be taking turns. But you also have this element of designing your own mazes and then having friends play the mazes, which is kind of cool. We played Casey Munchkin back in December 1981, and now we have the sequel. We're also going to see this one later on Philips Video Pack. So the screen will display Casey Munchkin, the dreaded Dratapillar, and 2 of the dreaded Dratapillar's dreadful drats. Casey Munchkin is activated by the left-hand control. So there's an example of the screen. They break down the screen, but you got to admit, you already kind of know because of how bright and colorful the screen. You understand that's a Dratapillar. You understand that's what Casey Munchkin is. And there's the trees, which we've seen on the Odyssey 2, look like that for since the beginning of Odyssey 2. Yes. We need more suing to happen because it looks like Pac-Man. There's the joystick we're going to be using on our Odyssey 2, or the hand control as they refer to it, with the action button in the top left. Push the joystick to move Casey Munchkin around, and that's it. You don't really need the button. Do they say anything? Pull the joystick toward you. Characters going onto the screen. Yeah. Don't even use it. Just use that joystick to go around. Get to the Dratapilla, and you eat it automatically. You got to eat it from the back. Eat the Dratapillar's butt to make sure he doesn't get you. Awesome. There we go. Yep. Casey Munchkin's on the Dratapillar. Both drats turn white and can be munched out, kind of like a power-up in Pac-Man. The drats resume their chase after they return to their normal color. And then there's the scoring. We only have a few things on the screen. We had a tree, the Dratapillar segment, and the drat with bonus scoring. Got to get those points. There it is. 1 point, 3 points. Lower scoring things on here on the Odyssey 2. The other thing that the voice had that we've already seen on the channel was the type and tell, which arguably couldn't be a game. This one is the true. We're going to play a game on the Odyssey 2 that will talk to us, which is kind of cool. So this is how they justify multiple players. The winner is the player who scores the highest number of points over a predetermined number of turns. So you got to use a little little conversation about how you play, because you're just going to alternate the controller to play back and forth. So there you go. Previous score and then the high score in progress. And you can even put your name in because you got that keyboard down there. Oh, good point, Palpug. This is after Jungler. We've already seen Jungler in the arcade. But Jungler was a different kind of game because it allowed you to be that snake and shoot. This one, you're playing as Casey Munchkin. It's kind of like they stuck Pac-Man in Jungler, if you wanted to think of it like that. So here we go. This is the different game modes, and they show you how to change up the mazes, so you can program your own mazes. Great thing. But we saw this also in KC Munchkin, and this is you picking the different mazes you want. They have 5 different ones. So these are the 5 different mazes that you could play in the game. But there is no limit to the number of mazes available because you can program your own. Oh, look at that awesome artwork. So nice. So the way they do the programming is you pick a row and a column, and you are using the keyboard and typing in the coordinates of where you want the column or row to have a line in the maze. Draw your vertical lines and design your own maze. So cool. And then play it with your own maze. Very nice. Way to go, KC. Let's pop in and play KC's Krazy Chase. This is developed by Ed Averitt, published by North American Philips Consumer Electronics Corp. in the beginning of September 1982. So we're going to start off with just the base game. I'm going to go with 1 on my keyboard, and we're in. Oh, look at KC. He's even more animated than he was before. Okay, so the way you want to play the game is you find the dreaded Dreadapilla, and you just start eating the tail like this. Whenever you do... Oh, it talks to us, too. Love it. And if you take the last one... I don't know how well you could hear it. It's a little muffled, but Casey said, incredible. So we have trees that are in our way. The trees are kind of like barriers. We have to munch a little through the trees. But this is technically not a snake variant or a snake style game because we're not playing as the snake. It's almost like reverse Snake. Look how animated KC is, though. Is he the most adorable character invented so far? Look, he even has animations winking bye-bye when he dies. Wow. And I think this is... check this out, ladies and gentlemen. This is the very first time... Look at KC. He has an idle animation. He actually does a little flip and then his ears wobble. This is the very first character that has that much personality. We've never seen any character with an idle animation like this. Yeah, extremely charming. Very, very well done. It sounds like he's got his mouth over the mic when he's talking to us. But he's talking to us just the same. Let's keep going. Get him. Oh, and he laughs too. Awesome. Maybe that's true, Charlie. They made the roll instead. Because notice how every time we move, we're just spinning around. I wonder if that's because it... Well, when he eats, though, he eats like Pac-Man. Yeah, he's munching from the side. Yeah, it's got to be something where they have to differentiate him from Pac-Man. But at this point, I gotta say, KC's more charming than Pac-Man. There is no character that is like this on the screen. Now, even Mario and the characters we've seen that are humanoid characters, you know, like a Bounty Bob, those characters still are flat, and KC is still a one-color character. So he's not multiple sprites or multiple colors, but the way they've animated him, you gotta admit, is very impressive. Giving him lots of personality, so good. Yeah. Curtis is going 4.5 of all the games you could play on a home console. Yeah, it's really good. Really, really fun, and of course you got the programmable features. So if you don't like the maze, the 5 that it comes with, then make your own maze. And it has the element of Pac-Man with the power-ups too. Kun's going 4.5 as well. Yeah, this is very well done. Watch out. I don't think he's the official mascot, but he may as well be the mascot for the Magnavox Odyssey 2. Oh, and with the talking too, it's so cool. So, like we mentioned earlier, we've seen Jungler in the arcade by Konami in 1981, and then we've had tons and tons of Pac-Man variants, over 80 of all the games we played on the show. But for consoles, we've had 12 different Pac-Man games for consoles that they're specifically made to look and act like Pac-Man. And some of the best ones we've seen so far have been Cat Tracks on the Emerson Arcadia 2001, Lock and Chase on the Intellivision, Lockjaw on the Atari by Apollo, Turtles on the Emerson Arcadia 2001, and then those games were like 4 stars or 3.5 stars, just very well done console video games. This one I would say is got to be one of the best. Oh, eat him! Quick, quick, quick! Can I get him now? There we go. So you see just the other enemies, the drats flip around when you get them. Another great animation. Look at the way that the drats animate around. Oh, he got me. Maybe they did, and maybe this later turned into Casey Munchkin, and it started with the snake. I don't know for sure, but I do know that this plays really well. This is a lot of fun, responsive, and you want to keep going. You want to keep playing for a high score. Very, very enjoyable. There was one inside of his head. That's awesome. And then the talking voice module, it's more of a gimmick here. It makes it more fun to play, and it just adds to how much fun Casey Munchkin is. Notice that the Dreadapillar also speeds up. Yeah, there's a lot to it. Incredible. Way to go, KC! So for the first sequel, that's a very well done home console video game. Of all the video games right now you could play on a home console, this is better than most of the other Pac-Man variants we've seen. Now, we have seen official Pac-Man on the Atari VCS. Hunter's going 4.5 as well. Bartow Man's going 4. Manly's 4. Yeah, this one's great. If KC Munchkin didn't exist, and this was the only one, I'd say 5 stars. But because this formula of very similar maze and programmable maze, I'm going to say 4.5 of all the games you could play. Yeah, Tood. No one knows what Tood is. It's 1982. We won't see Tood until 1988 at the earliest. Maybe even later than that. All right, let's keep going. After this commercial break, we're going to Japan. Whoa! Kingman! Man, Donkey Kong is definitely based on King Kong, I guess. Or they took the idea because King Kong, if King Kong was a robot, I guess he would be Kingman or Kaiju. We're going to play a handheld game. This is Kingman. First seen in Japan by Tomy. Here's the box. Man, look at that. In Japan, they know how to make some box artwork. Over there on the bottom left is the handheld. This is one of those, is it a handheld or is it a tabletop? Because it's not a true, you're going to carry it around in a bus or things like that. But we still would consider this a handheld because it takes batteries and you can go anywhere with this game. Yes, it is like Mecha Kong. I love it. Man, this looks like another poster. Some of these boxes we've seen on the show, they aren't just video game boxes. This could be a poster. This is so cool. And he's even got a lightsaber, whoever you're playing as, which we're going to look nothing like that in the game because it's a handheld from 1982. This is also available by Tandy in North America, and it looked like this. A little more derpy than the cool tabletop version, but still the same idea. And then this is the handheld in Japan we're going to be playing for the first time. The handheld doesn't have a directional pad because that cross pattern that we've seen from Donkey Kong by Nintendo is patented by them. So this one has to do something different. And notice what they did on the Tandy. They made it a cross, but not an actual cross. It's segmented. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool, though. And then in Japan, this is what you would have gotten, the manual, the device itself. Look at the box, though. That's a chunky box. It is massive because it's got to fit the whole thing inside there. With an example of the screenshot, we also have the manual that was available by Tandy in North America or Radio Shack. So there you go. There's the game screen, the control buttons, power switch, the jack for your AC adapter. Whoa, pretty cool. Loading the batteries in the back takes 4 AA batteries. Not too bad. This one is vacuum fluorescent display. So I will not be able to give you the best screen like you're holding in your hand, but I'll do my darndest. There's what everything is on the screen. The girl, all right, that's the girl. Heart, sword, Kingman's at the top of the screen. We're going to play a Donkey Kong clone on our handheld. in the palm of our hand. And this isn't the first. We played Wild Man Jump in 1981. And of course, Donkey Kong, the split screen Game & Watch has already come out. We played on that one. And here's what's going to happen. The object of the game is to move the boy using the control buttons and jump button to rescue the girl. That's what the manual says. While evading the Mother King and Baby Kong through 4 game patterns. So we have 4 patterns. Look at the patterns, though. They didn't do that many, but that many difference on the screen. But it is 4 different things, because when we play Donkey Kong, or whenever we play Wild Man Jump, there is no changes in the screen. So they tried something to make it a little different, and then break down what the different floors do, which is kind of cool. This is after. We've already seen the Coleco tabletop VFDs, or majority of them have already come out. We're going to see a couple more later, but we've already seen the big ones like Pac-Man. I like that. King Mom. I guess there's no such thing as Kingman here. So it shows you how to play. Control buttons move the boy left, right, up, or down. So they have to have the cross pattern, but they can't legally make the cross pattern on their system. Only Nintendo can right now. The joy of the cross. I made a big deal about it on the show when we saw it in the handheld. There's the boy. You can go up and right, down. Wow, so it is a platformer as a handheld. It has how to jump over the little baby kings, which are little dots on there. And then the Mother King is in the rock cave that produces baby kings. The Mother King is producing baby kings. All right. And then there's the Power Heart. If it appears occasionally for a few seconds in 2 places on the screen, the boy passes over it while it's flashing. His enemies cannot hurt him. It is like the hammer in Donkey Kong. We also have a warp tunnel, the different floors, and then the top step where Kingman is and locks the girl in the cage. The first 3 game patterns, when the boy reaches the top step, the Kingman takes the girl away and puts her in another cage, beginning the next pattern. Pattern 4 supplies the boy with a sword immediately before reaching the top step. When we reach the top of the 4th pattern, the sword kills the Kingman. So cool. And there's the points. Nice. For a handheld, this is a big deal to play a platformer that's like Donkey Kong. It would have been really nice. And it also can do an AC adapter, which if you don't want to have to use batteries, you can do that, I guess. Thanks, Radio Shack. I miss you. All right, let's go put in the palm of our hand Kingman by Tomy. And then, of course, later by Tandy. I'm ready. Now, we have this zoomed in all the way, so it's not giving us the full experience. But I'm down the bottom of the screen as the boy. Oh, but if you touch the Mommy Kong, is that what it was called? Mommy Kong, then you die. Let's try it again. So I picked up a heart, and now I'm invincible, but the jump, does everyone see this? The jump is literally just makes my, it makes my shins disappear, and my feet disappear. So the jump is not as impressive as the one we saw on Donkey Kong or the one we saw on Wild Man Jump. But bear in mind, this would have been a lot flashier. You got to time that one, make your way to the warp. Oh, and if the baby king, is that what they called it? If the baby king's in the door, then you die. That stinks. So now we have to get in the mind frame of handhelds. How many handhelds we've seen, and if this was enjoyable, or what kind of game it would be. Okay, I got the heart. That means they're flashing, and they can't hurt me. Oh, wow, the heart runs out fast. It looks like Mama Kong is kissing me. This is only the first screen, and it is very, very difficult to get yourself to the top. That's what it looks like. The jump really doesn't feel like a jump. It feels like I'm continuing to move on the same plane. It doesn't feel as satisfying as when we played Donkey Kong. When we did play Donkey Kong, I gave that one 5 stars of all the handhelds you could play in 1982. It was so good. For a handheld, this one is still enjoyable and fun to play, but it's you would get a little bit more enjoyment actually playing this for real in the palm of your hand. So I just wanted to show you a little bit what the gameplay is like. It doesn't look like I'm going to get to the first screen, but we did see in the manual what the other screens look like. They just change a few of the platforms and have you jump over the top. Kingman. It's Mecha Donkey Kong. But so cool, I didn't even know this existed. Yes, and in Japan, they're probably making the game extremely difficult for me to move around. I just love the jump. It's just removing the bottom portion of your legs, and that's a jump. I'll take it. And now this begs the bigger question. In Japan, is Donkey Kong considered kaiju? Is he the same as Godzilla, or around the same? Because I know they fought together. But Donkey Kong should be giant. He wasn't that big. I know King Kong was, right? Yes, Manly's going 3 stars already. Yeah, for a VFD, vacuum fluorescent display, this one's pretty cool. And for a platformer, you're not seeing a ton of those out here. Kingman's awesome. All right, of all the games you can be playing in the palm of your hand, I wouldn't call Kingman the best of the best or the cream of the crop, but it is up there as something really fun. 3 is good, 3 is fair. Yeah, lots of 3s out there. I'm actually going to say for handhelds, the platform mechanic works all right, but it's not as good as something like a maze game or a shooter. Those have worked a lot better for handhelds now. For a platformer like this, it's a little bit more difficult to grasp. So I'll say 3 stars of all the handhelds so far. Oh, and everyone looks like 3, at least in the chat. Very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, that's where we got to put our video game playing on pause. Tune in next episode where Steve Cartwright from Activision gives us a mega game to play on our Atari. That's it for today, and like I always say, the red button should be in the top left of your joystick. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.